Part 144. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1431. Chapter 1431 June Chennai Extra Chapter, 42. Oh my God, Captain, did you see that? At this time, one of the Smile team members ran toward little Cherry in a panic. Since she is the youngest girl in the team, everyone calls her little sister. The younger sister just turned 17 this year, and she is also the shortest in the group, only 162 centimeters tall, but despite her small stature, she has a big lung. The treble part of group songs is usually assigned to her. The younger sister lay on little Cherry's shoulder, holding up her fancy Teletubbies mobile phone case to show little Cherry her phone screen. Before Xiaoying Tao could say anything, the younger sister had already discovered that the page displayed on the screen of the mobile phone held by Xiaoying Tao was exactly the same as hers. Team, Captain, you've seen it? The younger sister's voice had a slight vibrato. Little Cherry seemed very calm. She turned off the phone screen and looked at her calmly. Yes, I saw it. Captain, tell me, why did Shengding sign Jin Huixiu? The younger sister looked particularly excited, clenching her little paws tightly together. At this time, the other girls from Smile also came over. They probably had just seen the news, and the expressions on their faces were not very good. Jin Musa, who had the most bad temper, stepped on her high heels so loudly that her eyebrows almost rose to the sky. Then she came over menacingly, sat down on the sofa, and crossed her arms. I'm so off, the press releases on the internet are just nonsense with your eyes closed there G or something, they haven't even made their debut yet, and they're already blowing it up. If it gets messed up in the future, I'll see how it ends. There is a reason why Jin Musa is so angry, because she is also a high-spirited person, and has been called one of the two faces of Smile by outside media and netizens, the other being Sakura. But in the draft, she was simply torn apart and compared to Gna. It was said that the face shape was not as photogenic as others, the eyes were not as good as others, the body was not as good as others, the legs were not as good as others. Jin Musa wanted to drag the editor who wrote this stupid article to a violent beating. Jin Huixiu is here, they can't be fooled. Just when everyone was talking about attacking Gna, little Cherry suddenly added the sentence slowly and leisurely, and the air suddenly became quiet, and 4 pairs of eyes looked towards her. Little Cherry curled her lips, spread her hands and said helplessly, "Don't look at me like that, I'm serious." Captain, how can you be like you, who can let others' ambitions destroy your own prestige? Jin Musa stamped his feet and said angrily. Yes. The other 3 girls also began to agree. Although that is the case, what I said is also true. Everyone has trained with Jin Huixiu, and we all know her ability. So even those few are here to paddle, relying on Jin Huixiu alone they can also become famous. What's more, Shengding is so strict, and the artists who come out are only 1 in a million. Without 2 brushes, they can't stand out. It's over, it's over. Jin Musa leaned back with a look of despair. The captain has said so. It seems that this Gne is destined to be our biggest opponent in the future. Jin Musa said, curling his lips with some disdain. Certainly. Little Cherry continued, didn't you realize that Shengding did this on purpose? All the candidates seem to be imitations of our Smile. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1432. Chapter 1432 June Chennai Extra Chapter, 43. When little Cherry said this, the girls became wary. It was okay if little Cherry didn't say it, but once they thought about it carefully, it seemed that it was really like this. Smile has 5 people, and Gne has 5 people. The 5 people in Smile are sweet, sexy, cute, and neutral fairies with various styles. Looking at the dressing styles and makeup of the Gne people, they seem to be exactly the same as Smile. Looking at the press releases issued by the media, it turns out that everyone has the target of comparison and flattery. It seems that it is arranged that everyone has someone to imitate and compare to. The object of Jin Huixiu's analogy is cherry. Damn, is Shengding so insidious? One member complained after thinking about it. Since they want to imitate us, let's work hard so that they can only imitate us and become fakes forever. After all, we are the original version and the irreplaceable smile. Little Cherry smiled and said confidently. The girls nodded in agreement. That's right, a fake is a fake. No matter how similar the imitation is, it still can't be confused with the real thing. Smile's debut performance is very impressive, and everyone can see it. In fact, in addition to Shengding, many other companies are also imitating Smile's model and launching their own girl groups one after another. However, so far, few of them can make waves. They are all temporarily popular, dissipate quickly, and then disappear. It's just that no one expected that Shengding would do such a thing. Sure enough, in the face of interests, all principles are not a problem. Besides, Shengding is different from those small companies. They have plenty of resources and good candidates. Therefore, the girl group they launched is indeed qualified to compete with Smile. Just when Smile got off the plane back home, GNE debuted. That day, all kinds of media reported overwhelmingly on them, which shows how much money Shengding spent on them. The first thing Smile did when they got off the plane and returned to the company was to get together and watch GNE's MV to see what level their singing and dancing were. After the entire MV, the expressions of the girls in Smile were not very good. Shengding is worthy of being a Shengding, the artists who debuted are too strong, and everyone even feels that Jin Huixiu, who has always been outstanding in The Emperor, does not seem to be so conspicuous in that group. But one thing that is undeniable is that GNE is very strong, and so is Kim Hye-soo. It seems that GNE is indeed a strong enemy. Smile's manager is Sister Wan, who used to be the manager of Liangya and Qianyins of Thornbird Entertainment, and is now in charge of these girls of the Smile Girl Group. When Sister Wan said this, she was holding her mobile phone and staring at GNE's new song data on it. The data has increased rapidly, and of course, they are indeed worthy of such results. However, if they break Smile's debut performance record, then the fight will become even more intense in the future. Yes. Little Cherry echoed, their dancing skills are much better than ours. It's okay, girls, you are also great. It's a good thing to have strong opponents. It can motivate you to work harder, otherwise, you will not be in the honeypot of the media and fans and stop making progress. Sister Wan looked at the melancholy faces of the girls, clapped her hands, and encouraged them. Hearing Sister Wan's words, the girls' expressions softened slightly, and they forced a smile. Then they gathered together and began to encourage each other. Smile never admits defeat. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1433. Chapter 1433 June Chennai Extra Chapter, 44. The dramatic thing is that GNE's results are almost tied with Smile's original debut results. GNE broke their record for being the fastest to reach number 1 on the new song chart, but they did not break their playback record. GNE broke their first day sales record, but not their first week sales record. In short, overall, their results are almost equal. June Chennai looked at the data analysis table with a straight face and didn't speak for a long time. Xiao Liang saw that June Chennai was silent and thought that this was worse than getting angry. If June Chennai wanted to say something, he would still know what to do, but June Chennai remained silent. Xiao Liang stood dryly aside, and the air became so quiet, he always felt strange. June Chennai seemed to be a silent beast that could jump up at any time. Thinking of this, Xiao Liang began to sweat on his forehead. Xiao Liang couldn't tell the emotion in Jun Cheniai's heart from Jun Cheniai's seemingly expressionless face, so from the beginning to the end, he could only stand helplessly. Xiao Liang felt even worse now than when Jun Cheniai scolded him. This kind of embarrassment is simply too much. Due to the impressive debut performance, it has been revealed that GNE will participate in the next variety show. They are all popular variety shows, they perform well, and it is easy to gain fans. It seems that GNE is already preparing to catch up with the popularity of Smile. Just now, Smile's official Weibo announced the release of a new song next week. About an hour later, GNE's official Weibo also announced that a new song would be released next week. So, it was obviously head on, just on. Jun Cheniai took a breath of cold air. Although Shengding and the Emperor had always been sworn enemies, this was the first time it had become so obvious. Perhaps, they really want to test which girl group is more popular. The girl group that had just debuted competed with the popular girl group Jun Cheniai, who already had a fan base. What Shengding did this time was really immature. It's not bad that he won, he made a comeback against the wind, and he was able to laugh a wave of smile and die on the beach. But if he loses, he will be ridiculed by the outside world for overestimating his abilities. As soon as the two Weibo posts were posted, fans of the two companies started to fight each other on Weibo. Although I was a fan of Smile at first, I have to say that the girls in GNE are more attractive. Kim Hae-soo's electric motor is incredible, and her charming eyes, my god, is Kim Hae-soo a fairy? Jin Huixia rushes to the duck. Smile will never admit defeat, come on Smile, come on Jin Musa. GNE, is this the first time you have entered Smile? The two companies are very similar in positioning. It was only a matter of time before they got started, and passers-by will take advantage of them. She said GNE's Kim Hae-soo is really good looking, so I chose Smile's little cherry. Jun Cheniai was watching the trend of public opinion. At this time, he suddenly remembered the knocking on the door outside, and Xiao Liang walked over and opened the door. President, there is a lady named Mo outside looking for you. Jun Cheniai raised his head and muttered, Miss Mo, when did I meet Miss Mo? Xiao Liang quickly reacted, ah, CEO, it's Miss Moun, the one you had a blind date with some time ago. Jun Cheniai suddenly realized that after so long, he had long forgotten. It's just that, after not seeing each other for so long, why did Moun come to see him again? Didn't you understand what he said last time? President, do you want to see her? Jun Cheniai waved his hand and said to Xiao Liang, go and ask about something. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1434. Chapter 1434, Jun Cheniai Extra Chapter, 45. Good CEO. Xiao Liang quickly responded and walked out. However, not long after, Xiao Liang walked in with a troubled look on his face. Jun Cheniai raised his eyes when he heard the movement and looked at Xiao Liang's expression, puzzled, what's wrong? President, Miss Mo said she wants to see you in person. Jun Cheniai's brows knitted together, feeling vaguely that something was not right. Okay, then ask her to wait for me. Jun Cheniai said, lowered his head, read the last two paragraphs of the document he had just been reading, then stood up and walked out the door. Moun was anxiously waiting for Jun Cheniai in the living room. She seemed to be sitting there calmly, but in fact, she was already in a mess inside. Actually, Moun had made a lot of determination when she came to see Jun Cheniai today. They haven't seen each other since the last strange blind date. Moun went back and thought for a long time, saying that she only admired Jun Cheniai at first, but after seeing him that day and saying a few words to him, she felt as if she had fallen in love with that man at first sight. In short, in the days that followed, she never forgot Jun Cheniai. Since Jun Chennai doesn't have a girlfriend, Moon thought, maybe she can give it a try. If nothing else, they can start as friends. As for whether they will be together by fate in the end, everything is unknown. After Jun Chennai's tall and straight figure walked in, Moon's eyes never left her. It was also from that time on that she strengthened her determination to come here. Just think that this is the only time in her life that she boldly pursues love for herself. Can I help you? Jun Chennai's moving voice sounded. That voice has already sung countless heavenly songs. Even when it is used for speaking, it is so melodious. Jun Chennai sat on the sofa opposite Moon and looked at her politely, with no emotion on his face. That. Moon bit her lower lip, a little nervous. Did I bother you? In fact, I don't have anything particularly serious. It's just the charity party next week. Can I be your female companion? Moon's previous words were all hesitant and took many detours, but she finally finished them in one breath. Although the last words were spoken very quickly, Jun Chennai still heard them. Jun Chennai frowned and thought for a while, then raised his head and glanced at the expectant face. Sorry, I already have a female companion. Of course Jun Chennai lied to her. That charity gala is almost equivalent to an annual gathering of entrepreneurs. It is a gala where many successful entrepreneurs gather together to do social charity and donate money. For entrepreneurs like them, donating money is secondary. Taking the opportunity to get to know a few more friends is their main purpose. Jun Chennai deceived Moon for the same purpose. Jun Chennai was not stupid. He could tell from Moon's shy and forbearing expression that she was interested in him. It was because of this that Jun Chennai wanted to nip her in the cradle. Jun Chennai does not want to find a girlfriend at the moment, nor does he want to be pursued by a lady like Moon. On the one hand, he is not good at rejecting others tactfully and without hurting others. On the other hand, Jun Chennai thinks it will be very troublesome. So if he can avoid it, he has to try his best to avoid it. Already have a female companion. Moon was a little disbelieving. She opened her eyes wide and stared at Jun Chennai. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1435. Chapter 1435 Jun Chennai Extra Chapter, 46. Moon couldn't believe what she just heard. Who was the female companion Jun Chennai was looking for? It is obvious to all the outside world how addicted Jun Chennai is to work during this period. Where does he find the time to meet women? Moon originally thought that her plan was very clever, and she could take the opportunity to build a good relationship with Jun Chennai, and even create the illusion that they were ambiguous to the outside world. However, now it seems that her little calculation may have been miscalculated. Moon's face darkened, but on the surface, she still tried her best to maintain her demeanor. He looked at Jun Chennai with a smile but not a smile. This question confused Jun Chennai. Jun Chennai just answered casually and never thought about who he should take with him on that day. You will know on that day. Because he doesn't know yet. Jun Chennai smiled. Oh well. Moon pursed her lips, and when she saw Jun Chennai getting up to leave, she quickly shouted again. Etc. Jun Chennai paused and looked back at her. Well, can we be friends? Moon's eyes were shining like water, staring at Jun Chennai, motionless. Jun Chennai nodded readily, okay. Moon opened her mouth and smiled, okay. Moon stretched out her hand towards Jun Chennai again. Jun Chennai glanced at the slender hands and raised his eyebrows, probably guessing something. Give me your cell phone. Jun Chennai handed over the phone. Moon opened the address book on Jun Chennai's cell phone, then entered her own cell phone number and called her cell phone. Moon's cell phone rang twice and Moon hung up. Moon smiled sweetly, okay, Now we have completed the first step of becoming friends. Moon smiled sweetly. Jun Chennai also smiled and recovered quickly. I won't bother you anymore, just go and do your business. I'll ask Xiao Yang to send you off. Jun Chennai said, and he and Moun walked out one behind the other. Xiao Yang stood outside the door waiting for Jun Chennai. When he saw Jun Chennai coming out, he quickly followed him. Jun Chennai asked Xiao Yang to take Moun downstairs. Xiao Yang nodded and led Moun to take the elevator downstairs. When the elevator door opened, Moun and Xiao Yang outside the elevator saw the pretty girl in the elevator. The girl wore light makeup, a youthful face, a high ponytail, revealing a plump and smooth forehead. She was wearing a white velvet sweater, a denim skirt and short boots underneath, revealing a pair of slender straight legs. When Xiao Yang saw Xiao Ying for the first time, she was still a little plump as a girl, but now, she is much thinner, and her face has also become smaller. Being in a girl group or an actress, being fat is the original sin. No, being overweight is the original sin. Little Cherry is 167 centimeters tall, Xiao Yang thought, she might only be around 90 pounds. After all, they are 10 pounds fatter on camera, even though female celebrities like them are very strict about their body management. When Moun saw Little Cherry, at the first sight, the struggle between the innate magnetic species in the animal world made her wary. The woman in front of me is very attractive and attractive. Moun also paid attention to the entertainment industry, and knew that the beautiful girl in front of her was Xiao Ying, the leader of Smile, the latest popular girl group from Jun Chennai's company. Before she debuted, she was called a otaku goddess. Now that she has debuted, she looks even more outstanding. Even women think she is good looking, let alone men. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1436. Chapter 1436 Jun Chennai Extra Chapter, 47. Little Cherry passed by Moun expressionlessly, but when she saw Xiao Yang, she nodded and said hello. Moun and Xiao Yang entered the elevator. After the elevator door closed, Moun asked Xiao Yang, does Little Cherry often come to see Jun Chennai? Before the elevator closed, Moun looked at the direction Little Cherry was going, and she should be looking for Jun Chennai. I don't know why, but Moun felt sour just by asking this question. Xiao Yang hadn't noticed yet, and she replied with a big heart, yes, Xiao Ying is obsessed with writing songs recently. She often brings the songs she writes to the president to see and ask the president to give her advice. But don't they have specialized teachers? Moun added sourly. Xiao Yang still didn't notice anything was wrong. Oh, the president values their group very much, and the GNE group has also been very popular recently, so the president asks Xiao Ying to show him the song. Jun Chennai is really not afraid of tiring himself. Moun curled her lips and muttered. It was only then that Xiao Yang noticed that something was wrong with Moun's expression, and thought to himself, oh, he seemed to have said the wrong thing again. Xiao Ying Tao showed Jun Chennai the recently written song by their group. Jun Chennai put it aside and prepared to read it again when he went home. Xiao Ying Tao was also about to leave. Jun Chennai suddenly thought of something and stopped her. Hey, wait a minute. Little Cherry was stunned and looked back at Jun Chennai. Is there anything else you can do, boss? For it. Jun Chennai paused and then said, are you free next Sunday? Little Cherry was stunned for a moment, then rolled her eyes and thought for a while, then shook her head. On Sunday, if nothing else happens, I should go practice voice practice with them. Jun Chennai continued, accompany me to attend an event on weekend nights. Jun Chennai said a declarative sentence, which meant that Xiao Tao seemed to have no room to refute. This was not a discussion, but more like an order. What activity? Little Cherry blinked. Is Xiao Yang okay? Jun Chennai suddenly seemed a little embarrassed, thinking that his once dignified Chinese male Jun Chennai could not even find a female companion. He could only choose his own employees in his own company. If he told anyone, he would be laughed at. No, that event requires a female companion. After much thought, I don't have any suitable candidates around me. Jun Chennai shrugged. Just now I saw a girl next to Xiao Yang at the top of the stairs. She looked like a wealthy lady, can't she? Jun Chennai's face darkened and he stared at Little Cherry for a while. So you're so unwilling to be my female companion? Are you going to shirk it to a woman you've met once? Little Cherry was frightened for a moment. Jun Chennai's tone seemed a bit baffling, right? No, no. Xiao Ying quickly waved her hand. I'm just confused, because she and Xiao Yang are together. I thought you two knew each other. We know each other, but I won't be able to tell you clearly for a while anyway. Just be ready when the time comes and I'll ask the driver to pick you up. Little Cherry had no choice but to agree. Okay then. But then I thought, but, boss, aren't you afraid that the media will gossip about you if you are photographed? Jun Chennai had a frank look on his face. No, you are the female team leader of my company. I will bring you out. It doesn't necessarily have to be that kind of relationship. Just seeing the world and getting popular is fine. Little Cherry thought for a while. Okay, boss, since you said so, I have no reason to refuse. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1437. Chapter 1437. Jun Chennai Extra Chapter, 48. Jun Chennai sighed secretly in his heart, wondering when Jun Chennai had fallen to this point, and actually started talking about hype, something he usually despised. Forget it, he is a businessman now, and for businessmen, interests always come first. Little Cherry left. On his way back, Jun Chennai flipped through the documents handed over by Xiao Yingying. The Smile Girl group submitted a total of 5 songs to Jun Chennai this time. 2 songs were written and composed by Xiao Yingying, and 2 songs were written by Xiao Yingying and composed by other members. The remaining one was written by Jin Music. Jun Chennai looked at the song written by Little Cherry and had to say that she was really a malleable talent. Compared to the song she wrote without any training for the first time, after training, she almost made a qualitative leap. Her 2 songs, from Jun Chennai's critical point of view, are both very good. Jun Chennai sent 2 words to Xiao Ying, not bad. Little Cherry was just finishing her dance practice and was on her way home with the girls. Jun Chennai's news was sent, and Xiao Tao told them immediately, feeling very excited. The boss said the songs we wrote are pretty good. Little Cherry held up her mobile phone, talking cheerfully, and showed it to them. The girls all cheered. I stayed up 2 nights to get the inspiration. Jin Music pointed at the dark circles under her eyes that could not be covered up even with concealer. I finally got the boss's approval. It's not easy. Little Cherry still remembers the first time when she presented the song they wrote to Jun Chennai. Jun Chennai's face was so dark that it could be compared with carbon ash. Being able to praise Jun Chennai is really hard one. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot to tell you. Little Cherry thought of something and said, I'm going to take leave from my teacher next weekend so I won't practice my voice. Then what are you going to do? Jin Music asked hurriedly, still peeling an orange in his hand. Staring at the Little Cherry. Little Cherry then told the girls what Jun Chennai said to her. Jin Music stuffed a bunch of oranges, which were bulging, and stared at the Little Cherry with wide eyes. Then, a girl in the team whispered, Captain, is the boss interested in you? Jin Music choked, and Little Cherry was also shocked by the girl's words. Little Cherry rolled her eyes and looked at the girl. Shan Shan, what are you talking about? The boss only came to me when he couldn't find anyone. Although Jun Chennai tried his best to hide this at the time, Xiaoying was such a smart person that he had already noticed it from the beginning when he lied. The younger sister also joked, but the boss is very kind to you. If possible, you can develop it. Little Cherry waved her hands quickly and stepped back in fright. No, 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 the boss has so many girlfriend fans, and I don't want to be drowned in saliva by his billionaire wife fans. The people who had the scandal with Jun Chennai, except Xia Ying, were all hype. He was torn apart by Jun Chennai's fans so badly that no one dared to pull Jun Chennai into hype anymore. Let's talk about Xia Ying. Jun Chennai liked Xia Ying so obviously at that time that Jun Chennai's wife pretended to be blind and then insulted Xia Ying. Even for the scandal between Xia Ying and Jun Chennai, some people scolded Xia Ying, let alone these people. Recommend a new book Honey Love 101, Pampering the Best Fake Young Master by S.I. Sang Dang. If you like this little cutie, go and collect it. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1438. Chapter 1438 Jun Chennai Extra Chapter, 49. Little Cherry felt that maybe it was indeed a wise move for Jun Chennai to take her to the party. Because no matter who Jun Chennai takes, as long as they are photographed and posted online, the other person will definitely be scolded and hyped by the media. Although it is negative news, it will be popular no matter what. As long as such a matter is clarified later, there won't be any trouble, and in the end, the woman can take the opportunity to make a name for herself. Therefore, because of the opportunity, it is best to give the people in your company the best. Fortunately, Little Cherry is also someone who is used to being scolded online, so she doesn't care about the vicious words of those keyboard warriors. She just thought that this was a chance to become famous that her boss had given her for free. On the day of the charity gala, Xiaoying received an evening dress from Jun Chennai's men in the afternoon. It was specially selected for her to match her. Little Cherry accepted it and opened it to see that it was a burgundy evening dress. Wear it to about halfway up your thighs. It is slim-fitting and flatters your figure. The makeup artist came over to apply makeup to Little Cherry. She looked at the evening dress and her eyes lit up. It's very beautiful. The president has such a good taste. Little Cherry took another look at the skirt. It was indeed very beautiful, and at first glance, it looked like a priceless haute couture dress. He is so busy, Xiao Yang must have chosen him. Little Cherry said and shrugged. The makeup artist narrowed his eyes, smiled, and said nothing. This makeup artist is new here, and it's his first time doing makeup on Little Cherry, and his techniques can be considered seasoned. While putting makeup on Little Cherry, she kept praising Little Cherry for her beautiful facial features. I read on the internet that you are a little girl from the countryside, but you really don't look like it. You have such beautiful features and you look so elegant. You look more like a young lady from a wealthy family. The makeup artist is also an outspoken person and will say whatever comes to mind. There was absolutely no time to think about Little Cherry's psychology. Little Cherry smiled politely, thought for a while, and prepared to answer. The makeup artist seemed to realize that something was wrong. Oh, I didn't mean it like that, I just said it simply, don't take it to heart. I am different from those people on the internet. It's okay, I'm not that stingy. Little Cherry said funny. Little Cherry came from a humble background. She grew up in the countryside and had no father or mother. She was raised by a group of grandparents, uncles, and aunts in the yard who took turns raising her. So she had deep feelings for the people in that yard, and they were like family members to her. Little Cherry dropped out of school simply because she became famous, but by making money through her own fame, she could make everyone in the yard live a good life. Therefore, she dropped out of school without hesitation. Anyway, Even after finishing college, she still had to work, and the salary would definitely not be as high as today, so she later became an anchor, and most of the money she earned was given to the people in the yard. They are all poor people. Now that Xiaoying has the ability, she wants to make them live a better life. In fact, whether it's a rich man's daughter or a country girl, fighting is nothing more than an identity and a starting point. Maybe some people have a very high starting point, which is beyond reach in their lifetime. But you can build on your starting point. Little Cherry has been working hard. She was very poor and pitiful at first, but now she is a star with an annual salary of 1 million. In the future, she will make more money and go to a higher level place. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1439. Chapter 1439 June Chennai Extra Chapter, 50. Everything she has is achieved through her own efforts. She doesn't think she has anything worthy of being said or called shameful. She is proud of everything about her. The story of Little Cherry was originally a very inspiring and heartwarming story, but among the anti-fans, it was rumored that Little Cherry was just a wild girl from the countryside. She became popular because of her face. In fact, she was still a vulgar and uneducated girl. People. In addition, when Xiaoying was a host, she publicly dissed those internet celebrities, so it was also extended to Hype by Hiza, who would do anything to become famous. But the very funny thing is that what she dissed before was all the truth, but some people just didn't believe it. Those who cheat on fans, cheat money, and sell their personas are actually rotten people in private. She has seen through it all. Because she didn't want people like this to continue to be popular, and she didn't want netizens to cheer them up and throw money at them, she came forward to reveal the truth. However, fans didn't appreciate it. But it doesn't matter to Little Cherry, she still has to do it because she believes that justice will be late, but it will never be absent. One day, the ugly faces of those people will be made public. After putting on makeup, Little Cherry changed into a dress. Looking at the woman who looked like a fairy in the mirror, Little Cherry couldn't believe it herself. She has lost 10 pounds since signing the contract with Emperor. Now she has a graceful figure, slender limbs, and a waist that is not too tight. She moves gracefully, which naturally attracts people's attention. Little Cherry rarely wears such a dark red, she even wears red. But the evening dress looked surprisingly good on me today. It was night again, and her skin appeared to be fair and lightly pink, and her facial features became more and more delicate. After being praised by the makeup artist and assistant, Little Cherry secretly decided that she could find some time to buy some red clothes. She suits this color very well. Hus sounded outside. It was Jun Chennai's car approaching. When Little Cherry went out, she saw Jun Chennai standing next to the car. He was wearing a black suit, tall, and the dark red tie looked particularly good on him. Since Jun Chennai retired from the entertainment industry, he has dyed his hair black. If Jun Chennai, who had dyed his hair in various colors in the past, is an idol, he is a beautiful boy from comics. So at this moment, Jun Chennai, who was wearing a black suit and with one hand in his trouser belt, was tall and handsome, just like the domineering president described in the novel. Especially the pair of deep eyes and slightly pursed lips, which make him more secretive and elusive, adding a bit of mystery and yearning. Jun Chennai is very handsome, Little Cherry has always known it. At least he had never seen a man more handsome than Jun Chennai, but at this moment, she seemed to see another different handsomeness in Jun Chennai. Putting aside his appearance, Jun Chennai is a very good person. However, because of his outstanding appearance, Jun Chennai's talent is often overlooked by fans. Now, seeing Jun Chennai in a suit, Xiaoying saw a successful businessman in him, Jun Chenai, President Jun, Boss Jun. Jun Chenai turned his head and looked, and then his eyes were firmly attracted by little Cherry. Jun Chenai raised his eyebrows. He thought that this skirt would look good on her before, but now it seems that it is exactly as he imagined. You look good today. After little Cherry approached, Jun Chenai praised her gently. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1440. Chapter 1440 Jun Chenai Extra Chapter, 51. Jun Chenai rarely praises others. When he praised her so suddenly, little Cherry's face couldn't help but turn red. After 2 seconds, she whispered back, "Thank you." Jun Chenai opened the door of the nanny car, and little Cherry got in. The driver started the car. Little Cherry originally thought that the journey on the road would be a little awkward, because she didn't know what to say to Jun Chenai. It would be even more embarrassing if she didn't say a word. Unexpectedly, Jun Chenai seemed to have been prepared for it, and suddenly he took out a document from nowhere. Little Cherry is very familiar with it. It was the song she submitted last week. Little Cherry was shocked. Jun Chenai was not going to talk to her about this on the road, was he? By the way, I've finished reading the songs you wrote. That's really the case. Little Cherry nodded, and when she got closer, she saw that the originally clean document had been marked many times by Jun Chenai with pens of various colors. It was colorful and looked a bit eye-catching at first glance. Little Cherry took a deep breath. Jun Chenai said that their songwriting this time was good. Why are there so many comments? Is Jun Chenai's demands for them too high or too low? She actually didn't understand it for a moment. Jun Chenai began to patiently explain to Xiaoying the comments and how they should improve. Little Cherry nodded and wrote them down one by one. Not long after finishing speaking, the car arrived. Jun Chenai got out of the car and turned his arm towards Xiaoying Tao, who then took Jun Chenai's arm and got out of the car. It was the first time that she was so close to Jun Chenai, and she actually felt like she was getting an electric shock. She felt numb in her heart, probably because Jun Chenai was her boss, a senior and idol that she had always admired in her heart, and she still felt a sense of awe in her heart. Anyone who comes into close contact with someone they respect can feel terrified. Jun Chenai and Xiaoying attracted everyone's attention as soon as they entered the venue. 1. That is Jun Chenai. Secondly, Jun Chenai actually brought his own girl group members over. What is going on? However, this kind of thing, most people still keep it in mind and don't ask directly. Little Cherry followed Jun Chenai, who led her and greeted many people. Until I met a couple. Ah, Jun Chenai. Hanzija patted Jun Chenai on the shoulder from behind. Jun Chenai turned back to look at him, and little Cherry also turned back. Hanzija is wearing a white dress, and next to him is his fiancée Muni Ankai. Muni Ankai looked gentle and pleasant in a light pink dress. Muni Ankai's eyes kept staring at Xiao Tao Tao after she turned around. Xiao Tao Tao felt strange as she kept staring at her like this. Hanzija, I haven't seen you for a long time. Jun Chenai shook hands with him. Hanzija also glanced at the little Cherry beside Jun Chenai, and asked with a smile, is this your girlfriend? No, smiles Captain, Cherry, don't you know why she's so popular recently? Jun Chenai joked. Hanzija smiled heartily, of course I know, but I thought you two were together. She looks much better in person than in photos. Muni Ankai added. Thank you, Miss Mu is also very beautiful. Cherry replied politely. No, I have no idea of finding a girlfriend yet, Jun Chenai said perfunctorily and started to change the topic. By the way, when are you getting married? End of this chapter.